News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349.
Tonight on News 46, a local dog owner gets arrested for last week's attack. The Nye County Sheriff's Office holds a press conference concerning a forgery theft ring. And a stove causes an accident on Basin Avenue. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Monday, March 16th, 2015. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. The Nye County Sheriff's Office is wrapping up a multi-effort, multi-agency theft ring investigation with numerous suspects taken into custody. News 46 has been running the individual stories throughout the past weeks that have included several search warrants that have been served on homes throughout the valley. The raids have all led to the arrest and an ongoing investigation, which has identified over 200 victims locally and in Clark County. The Nye County Sheriff's Office held a press conference with the men and women who have participated in Operation Super Lake, named after what they are calling the ringleader of the check forgery operation, Diane Lake. Police say they found a printing press and numerous pieces of evidence in Lake's home, which led them to more suspects, evidence of check fraud, mail theft, and home burglaries, to name a few.
The investigation initially began on the 7th of November, 2014, when deputies were dispatched to a local casino in reference to a report that suspect Diane Lake had cashed a fictitious check and later that day returned in an attempt to cash another fictitious check. She was turned away by staff after discovering that the first fictitious check was a fraud. Lake was not located at that time. Since that point, however, deputies identified further evidence and additional involvements in similar schemes, including theft, forgeries, and identity fraud involving Diane Lake as well as suspect Christopher Biddy. On the 6th of March, 2015, Danico Yelvington was arrested during this investigation after it was discovered that he was fraudulently cashing checks which had been forged at Diane Lake's residence here in Pahrump. When Nye County Sheriff's SWAT team, deputies, and detectives served a search warrant at 810 East Gamebird in Pahrump. During the search, numerous further pieces of evidence and items, stolen property, were located and seized, as well as methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia found in the possession of residents at this address. Jeffrey Gavalis and Jeannie Tedford, both of Pahrump, both were arrested and booked into the Nye County Detention Center. During the late evening hours of the same day, the investigation continued as NCSO deputies and detectives served yet another search warrant at an address of 2281 North Morales Lane and seized additional pieces of evidence. The residents were questioned, however, nobody there was arrested. As a result of this still ongoing investigation, approximately 200, mostly local victims, have been identified at this point.
A small handful of those are actually from outside of Pahrump, Nye County. Matter of fact, there's a small handful of victims and businesses that are located in Clark County as well. We're still in the process of identifying those victims for sure, identifying their contact information, and then we will be identifying each one of those victims to make contact with them and further the investigation in that regard. As part of this investigation, we've also solved approximately 10 local previously unreported cold cases. However, each one of the local victims in turn becomes its own case again, so we are looking at a large number of cases which will be generated, cleared, and solved as a result of this entire investigation. It is ongoing. We expect that as we progress through this, that we may be able to find additional evidence and additional victims. And as we do so, we're going to, of course, release that information.
And police have arrested 36-year-old Diane Lake, 41-year-old Christopher Biddy, 30-year-old David Barger, 54-year-old Jeffrey Gavalis, 30-year-old Jenny Tedford, 37-year-old Tia Durcio, and Danico Yelvington. Police are still hoping to locate Joey Provenza, Joseph Williams, and Cameron Varden. If you have any information, you're urged to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 751-7000. News 46 will return in just a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Welcome back to News 46. As we reported on Friday, a man was critically injured as a result of an attack by 3 pit bulls Friday on Black Street. The man is still in critical condition at a hospital in Las Vegas. 2 others have been treated and released from Desert View. 40-year-old Ricky Davidson was taken into custody for charges relating to owning or keeping a vicious dog resulting in substantial bodily harm. According to the press release, this resulted from last week's dog attack on Black Street. Nye County Sheriff's deputies arrived on scene. They stated that there are 2 residences on the property at 1091 Black Street. The landowner and 1 tenant. The landowner has cats and a neighbor helps feed them. The tenant has 3 pit bulls. The 3 pit bulls were behind a 6-foot fence. The neighbor to the property came over to help feed the landowner's cats. Upon approaching, the 3 pit bulls jumped the fence and began brutally attacking the man. He began screaming for help. One of his friends came running to assist him. While trying to rescue the man, a second man was attacked by the pit bulls and sustained serious injuries. A third man came running over and got involved in the rescue effort. The pit bulls also attacked the third man, causing him serious injuries as well. The 2 men who tried to help the first man were able to drag his body next door and close the gate. However, the dogs were able to find a hole in the fence and continued the attack. One of the men was able to get a gun and shoot 2 of the dogs. The dogs, however, undeterred, continued the attack upon the man. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived on scene with ambulances and scared the dogs off. They abandoned the attack on the 3 men. The original victim, by the name of Ken, was attacked brutally. Half of his face was actually torn off by the dogs, and we have learned that his arm has been amputated at the hospital. It was nearly amputated by the dogs on scene. The 2 other rescuers were taken to Desert View Hospital and treated for their injuries. Investigation revealed that Davidson's dog had attacked another man approximately 8 months prior. Davidson was arrested and booked into the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. We spoke to Sheriff Sharon Worley about the incident.
The responsibility of the dog owners to keep their dog under control.
And if there's an option or a way for these animals to get out, what should they do?
Well, they should try to make sure that their dogs can't get out.
And if you have a vicious dog, what should you do?
Well, you have several options. Anything from taking terminal measures to putting it on a chain when you know that it's outside and there's other people around, to putting him in a kennel that you know that they can't get out of. But you have to take responsibility for that dog if you intend to keep it.
News 46 has learned that one of the dogs was euthanized due to the bullet wound through his lungs, sustained injuries to the shoulder, and did not need to be euthanized immediately. This is Deanne O'Donnell for News 46. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia has a cure rate of more than 85%. However, one of the main medications used to treat this cancer can cause painful and sometimes debilitating nerve damage. These side effects can persist long after treatment has stopped. A new study examined whether differences in an inherited gene is associated with an increased risk of developing these side effects.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Inside this plastic pouch is a life-saving chemotherapy drug on its way to a young patient diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, or ALL, the most common type of childhood cancer.
Vincristine is a very powerful chemotherapy agent, but it has a terrible toxicity that's called neuropathy. Some children get very weak in their ankles and their feet and need support to walk.
As best you can, get that healed out, okay?
18-year-old Hannah Tate developed this debilitating side effect after being treated with vincristine for another type of cancer.
First, I noticed it in my feet. They were just weak. They kind of dropped. Like I couldn't pull my feet up. It's really hard.
We had some hints that there could be a genetic component to the risk of developing this toxicity.
Doctors William Evans and Christine Cruz from the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and co-authors examined a large panel of genes in more than 300 children with ALL. They all received multiple courses of the anti-cancer drug vincristine over an extended period of time.
We found that a change in this gene, CEP72, made patients more at risk.
They have over a 3 times greater risk of developing this side effect of vincristine. And it's more severe when they do develop it, over twice as severe. Not only are their neurons more sensitive, therefore they get more toxicity, but their leukemia cells are more sensitive.
Researchers are hoping to use this information to help reduce those side effects. Future studies are planned.
To see if we can use this to lower the dose of vincristine in those children, reduce their toxicity without compromising the success of their leukemia therapy.
Hannah's doctors say she is making great progress. She now has braces for her legs, making it easier for her to walk, and she is looking forward to graduating high school this year.
I'm really excited about being finished with all of this. Hopefully next I'll figure out what I want to do in college.
Catherine Dolph, The JAMA Report.
This gene variant is present in about 16% of patients diagnosed and treated for ALL. Luckily, no injuries were reported Saturday morning as a result of an accident concerning a stove that fell off a trailer on Basin Avenue. A vehicle versus stove accident occurred on Saturday morning on Basin Avenue next to McCalla Arena. The accident appeared to have occurred when a utility truck carrying a trailer also was carrying the stove. The stove somehow or another came off of the trailer and entered into the travel lane. That is when a vehicle struck the stove, causing major damage to the stove and moderate damage to the vehicle. No one was injured as a result of this accident. Nye County Sheriff's deputies directed traffic around while conducting the accident investigation. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. When we return, we'll have your weekend sports and we'll get an update on how Darby's doing at Fitness for 10.
Weekend Sports is brought to you by Wolfenstein Construction. Local amateur MMA fighter Brandon Schneider traveled to Mesquite this weekend to fight Milorad Nelica. Schneider came out of the corner hard and knocked Nelica out cold in just 11 seconds. Schneider will compete again in June for the 205 weight class title. Pahrump Valley High School baseball traveled to Arizona for a tournament this weekend. They played 5 games and went 3-2. They have a home game tomorrow against Western High School starting at 3:30 p.m. The PVHS softball team also traveled this weekend for the Colorado River Run tournament. They played 5 games and also went 3-2. They played a non-conference game today at Durango High School at 3:30 and will also play Western High School on Tuesday at Pahrump Valley High School starting at 3:30 p.m. The PVHS boys and girls track and field teams had an invitational track meet on Saturday hosted by Faith Lutheran, and it was a big one. The boys finished 13 out of 16 teams. For Pahrump, Nico Cipollini finished 5th in the pole vault. Isaac Davis finished 4th in the high jump, and Dylan Montgomery finished 4th in the 110-meter hurdles. The girls finished in 5th out of 16 teams. Megan McDermott finished 3rd individually in the triple jump, 4th in the long jump, and 4th in the 100-meter hurdles. Kaylee Havel finished 5th in the discus. Kelby Middleton finished 3rd in the 200-meter run and 2nd in the 100-meter run. Cashman Field in Las Vegas hosted the Chicago Cubs and the Oakland A's for Big League Weekend. On Friday, the Cubs defeated the Oakland A's 5-3, and on Saturday, the Cubs beat the A's 3-1. Leading the Chicago Cubs was Las Vegan Chris Bryant, who had 2 home runs and 3 RBIs off a pinch hit, a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, and a solo shot in the 6th. This has been Weekend Sports. I'm Courtney Stallman with News 46.
Today we did a little circuit training, and we did about 3 cycles of that. You know, we increased our resistance at every time we did a cycle through. She took a rest, got a water, and then we upped the reps and sets, and cycled through again, and so on and so forth. With that going on, you know, increased our heart rate, helped her with her strength, and burned some calories. That's all it's about. Then after we did that, we did some boxing.
So, she did a weigh-in today, and I know everybody's kind of keeping track of what's going on. How'd that go?
She lost 4 pounds.
Wow.
Awesome job. And she's going to give me another 3 next week. I know she will. So.
1,600 a day calorie diet. I know that myself, we're on a 1,300 calorie day. Yeah, I did pretty good too.
Hey, you lost 4 pounds too, so let's not make that light either. So you're doing awesome too. So that's 4 pounds all around.
Darby's over here resting from her workout. Tell me a little bit more about the boxing.
Well, the boxing is excellent because it gets your heart rate up. It's a great skill to learn. You know, something that you don't just take away as just a workout. It's something you can take away as a self-defense also. And incorporated with that, we did some squats. We did some different things. So it works the total body out. The gloves, 16-ounce gloves, 1-pound gloves each side. So it gave her a little more resistance when she worked out. So as you can see how it just tires you out right away, doing different combos, different punches, and it just increases right from that point on. She's just at the beginning stages right now with that.
It also seems to be, when you're doing that, you're learning a little bit of coordination too, right?
That's right, a lot of hand-eye coordination, because when she starts to get more advanced at it, she's not going to be looking at her gloves at that point. She's going to look directly at me, and that's when you're going to see how that coordination works and how she's going to be able to know where her hands are at which point in time and how to hit and things of that nature.
So the rest of the week goes, she stays on her diet, she continues to work out the rest of the week and sees you guys. And if anybody wants to know about how to get involved, call Fitness for 10.
That's right.
Get Peak Performance to put you in some physical training.
That's right. They can see myself or my other 2 great trainers, Joe or Michelle. You know, they're awesome trainers. You know, I would never hire a trainer that's not awesome, but they're great people. So yeah, definitely come down to Fitness for 10. Come see us. Come see the gym. Come see how we've grown. Come see all the new equipment we've gotten. Definitely.
I definitely didn't know how much calories I was putting in before I started writing things down. And then I total that. I'm like, how much do I have for dinner and everything? And then I could figure out a nice meal and stuff.
You were Googling a lot of stuff, right?
I Googled everything. Yeah. If it didn't have it on the back of a package, I Googled it.
Were you kind of shocked on the way that your diet had changed just from writing things down and simply making sure that you didn't go over that calorie line that you were given?
Yeah, but it's also, I thought I would have to give up a lot of things I really enjoyed to do that, but I never actually really did. It's just proportions or sugar-free instead of regular, and then I really didn't taste any different.
We'd like to thank RJ and Joe there from Peak Performance. If you would like to join Darby, you can call Fitness for 10 at 751-6683. Tell them Darby sent you. An Act of Kindness Award was presented to New Hope Fellowship for all they do for our community. We're here at New Hope Fellowship, and I'm joined with Karen Cohen, and I have an Act of Kindness Award. And this was, a letter was sent in for some volunteers that you had here that I know are still members of the church, but this is for the food distribution that you guys do on Wednesdays and also the USDA, and I would like to present it to Karen Cohen. It's an Act of Kindness Award.
Marvelous. Thank you. On behalf of all the volunteers that serve, we are so grateful. Thank you for honoring us.
And if you could read what the award says.
Act of Kindness Award presented to New Hope Fellowship, Donna Redmayne and Sandy Tucker, and all volunteers for outstanding volunteer work from the citizens of Pahrump, Nevada. No act of kindness is ever wasted.
Thank you so much for everything that you guys do.
Very much. We appreciate this.
Congratulations once again to New Hope. If you would like to nominate somebody for an Act of Kindness Award, you just need to contact me here at the station, 727-9400, extension 201. When we return, we'll have your weather with Noah Beacon.
News 46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body.
Hello and welcome back to News 46. Today is Monday, March 16th. Today we had partly cloudy skies, high of 82 degrees. Your average temperature around this time of year is 70 degrees, so it's definitely warmer outside than it usually is. Winds were coming from the south today at 7 miles per hour with gusts up to 15 miles per hour. The UV index today was 5, which is moderate. Humidity was at 11% today. Sunrise was at 6:54 this morning, and the record high back in 2007 was 89 degrees. Tonight we'll have partly cloudy skies with a low of 52 degrees. Your average temperature around this time of year is 50 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southeast this evening at 6 miles per hour with gusts up to 9 miles per hour. Humidity will be around 22%. Sunset will be at 6:52 this evening, and the record low back in 1991 was 31 degrees. Tomorrow we'll have partly cloudy skies with a high of 81 degrees and a low of 53 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southwest at 8 miles per hour with gusts up to 15 miles per hour. Humidity will be around 19%. Sunrise will be at 6:53 tomorrow morning, and the UV index will be 5, which is moderate. For our 7-day forecast, we'll be starting off with some partly cloudy skies, but those clouds should be clearing up around this Friday. We'll have nice sunny skies through the weekend. Your high temperatures will be starting off in the low 80s. That'll be dropping rather quickly into the mid 70s this Wednesday and working its way back up into those low 80s and high 70s around this weekend. Your low temperatures will be starting off in the low 50s, and that will be dropping into the high 40s, and that'll be pretty constant through the rest of this 7-day forecast.
Thanks so much, Noah. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of News 46 from everyone up here at KPVM-TV and, of course, on our radio station, 95.9 on your FM dial, KA's Country. Please tune it in. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.